Hello and welcome to the possibly sixth episode of the Rantcast. I'm the condescending bear. You know why? It's because I'm hairy and I'm gay and I don't fucking care what you say. And with me, as always, is my bad boy lover, DJ Soul, my absolute star in my eye, Michael, who I will make love to after this podcast.
That's gonna
Michael,
be
what's
that's gonna be very awkward to do, but I'm sure we'll think of some way around it.
Michael,
So,
what's on the docket today?
okay, so essentially, the reason why we're recording this now, and hopefully this is gonna be the sixth episode, is because we haven't recorded an episode for the past 6 months, due to shenanigans, and we took a very long break because we were so tired from recording the previous 5 episodes, obviously.
6 months tired from just talking for an hour about shit games.
Shit we don't like. But you decided to come up and essentially mention that there's this particular game you want to talk about. You in particular. I've literally no idea what the game... You've told me with the game, obviously. But I have no idea what it's about, what it is. Like, I've seen nothing of it. Literally whatsoever. So... You told me the game is called Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yep.
And you told me that you have... How many points you want to mention?
I have 37 things in my notes. And I'm sure I'll think of things while I'm talking about it, of how much I just fucking hate this fucking game.
And that's all negative, right? Or is that...
There's 37 negatives. I wrote down 5 backhanded positives.
So they're not even proper positives. They are...
There's one that is a proper positive.
Oh, okay.
I actually feel made this game more enjoyable for me.
So,
The rest of them are just to stop people saying fucking, oh, but this was good. Yeah, it wasn't, but you know.
So, yeah, essentially, we've finally decided that we're pick a time that we're both free and that we've both got enough time to kind of just chill out for a bit, and you are just going to go ham. Now, to the audience listening, before we actually properly start on Corey's Hitman list, I literally know nothing about this list. So everything that Corey is about to mention, it's all going to be genuine reaction, and everything's going to be like proper kind of discussion, and I'm going to try to be, well, not try to be interested, but I'm going to be like...
You couldn't even do
that. Again, I've got no idea what the game is. I've got no idea what your points are, so obviously you're going to do the explaining. So you're going to explain to me why this game is what it is. So...
Fucking shit.
So whenever you're ready, I don't know if you're going to go for... Let's see how we do, and let's see if we hit the hour mark and how far through we get through this list. And if not, we'll have to do an episode 6 part 2 and go for the remainder of it. Or we just hit all 37 points in one episode. We'll see.
I'll quick fire when we get into the hour mark, but I can't guarantee anything.
I'll warn you, and we're at 45 minutes.
Okay, so for anyone who is, worried, oh no, he's talking about the game I got. I bought this at full price for PS4, and the first thing I want to say, I don't care that you have it on PC and that it's better, right? They sold it on PS4 for full price. Whatever excuse you want to make for PC, right, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit about you. Fuck you. You're a twat. Now that I've got that out of the way, honestly, if you look anything online about this game and anyone who has a legitimate complaint on it, all you get is, well, you can mod it better with PC. Or you can change it. If I have to fucking fix your game myself, right? What you did was make a shit game.
Yeah, a game at the bat should not need mods to fix it, essentially. What I'm trying to say.
Skyrim is a fine game.
And mods improve it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't release a broken game and expect people to release mods to fix your game. So the game should be playable and enjoyable without them, and then improve them later on.
Yeah, no, I agree. So to explain basically what the game is, it's a first-person action-adventure, free roam game. I mean, I say free roam. If you survive the first 6 hours, fucking free roam. Not that I would wish that kind of torture upon my worst enemy. It's You play as a blacksmith's son. Your name is Henry, something I would only possibly remember due to my notes.
No,
And
you knew that shit.
he's so fucking boring. And yeah, your village gets attacked because God forbid we do anything interesting. Let's just have fucking Avatar Aang's story. And you then go and find your own way in the world through this absolutely flaccid penis of a game. So that's the first thing on my incredibly long list.
Flaccid penis of a game.
It's boring. It's cripplingly boring in its storytelling. Like, everyone that you meet is just a cold, shambling fucking corpse of a person who walks from A to B on their little daily routine. Like, I can't fucking remember any characters. They're so fucking lame. Everything about the dialogue is fucking flatter than a witch's tit. It's absolutely unenjoyable. And, like, instead of writing personalities, everyone just gives you fucking, oh, go here and do this. Oh, I knew your dad. He was a good guy. Go here and do this. Like, Henry himself, I get, is supposed to be a proxy character for the player, but you've named him, and I can't customize him. So,
yeah.
why have this dialogue system of different things to say and speech options? Like, why limit yourself? Just have me, walk to someone, press A, and they tell me things, and have different options for different, amounts of exposition I want. If I want to skip something, give me that option. If I want the full details, give me that option.
Yeah, that's
sick of this dialogue thing in games, and. Once again, my favourite punching bag Mass Effect is to fucking blame for popularising. I get it was a thing before, I'm not a fucking Riri. But it just doesn't matter. Like, you don't need it. If you don't have a character customization, if I'm not making my character's choices, or like The Witcher, right? The Witcher is Geralt has a personality.
Yeah.
And all the choices fit that. With Henry, like, he's just fucking dull as rocks.
Yeah.
So the very least you could have done was let me say and do interesting things. But you don't really get that. Everything's a bit vanilla.
I mean, that's the problem, really. It's like, if you're going to do one, then do it right. Don't just kind of, like, go 50-50 into both. If you're going to name a character, actually put thought and consideration into that character. Don't...
If you're going to have a protagonist, look at characters in GTA and stuff like that.
Either make
People
one
say
yourself.
That they're one note. Right?
Yeah, either like make a character yourself and you play that character as that character is supposed to be played, or allow the player to make his own character and make its own decisions. Like, don't just do 50-50.
Could have genuinely benefited heavily from a character customization. I get why they didn't, because to fit the time and people would want to play as women, and then you can't have your women in your game. You got nothing to fucking have complaints about and have to defend yourself on. There's a big controversy of this game saying that, it's racist because there are no like people of color or anything, when the developers say it's just historically accurate. And I can't defend its historical accuracies because I wasn't there. I haven't done any research on this.
Yeah.
I don't really care. This game doesn't deserve that kind of time from me because it's a load of bollocks. But as far as I'm aware, it's all, Bohemian people and stuff like that. So whatever, like, if this is your biggest complaint about the game, you clearly haven't played it, because it's, no one actually complained that BioShock Infinite was racist and that had actual like racial things that it brought up in the game. But this is the world we live in now, apparently. So which brings me to my second point. I'd like to think I blasted through that one pretty quickly.
Aye.
It's that dull of a plot, really. Like, it's just a revenge story, and you know what I mean? I'm hugely into revenge stories. I didn't give a shit. His family died because they're a bunch of stupid idiots. Like,
okay.
Like, literally, there is a scene where his dad, who, God forbid I remember his name, runs back to save his mum while there are, arrows being rained down on their town. And then he gets killed, and it's like, well, I don't know what you were expecting, because, one, a video game has to take place, and two, you just ran into an army. Right, what are you fucking doing, you retard? Also, I don't even think the mother gets a name. I can't remember it. I genuinely think they don't give her one. And if anyone would like to prove me wrong on that, I'd be absolutely joyous to find a point where they say a name, because I cannot fucking remember it.
I'm assuming you're not going to go through all the hassle of playing the game again to find out.
We'll get to replay value. Replay value is on this list. Don't you worry. So, my third point, because I've kind of touched upon the unmemorable characters, I can't say what I don't remember, unfortunately. That's a huge problem with this game, is that I tried to forget everything because it was awful.
But like, is anything in the game actually memorable? Like, not only just names, is it like got, I don't know, villain that's half decent, or you said it's already a revenge story. Does it look okay?
No,
Is it just like?
This is the worst. The worst part about it is trying to explain it to people, because you want detail, right? You want to be like, oh yeah, well, what's this? It's like, it's just so fucking plain, man. Like, there's nothing. There's no meat to it. I can't remember the villain at all. Some guy takes your dad's sword at one point, which you and him forged through what can only be described as a miserably boring intro. He takes your sword, and then you have to go get it back. I didn't go get it back. I wanted to do side quests, and eventually I got tired of the game and just fucking gave up, because it just doesn't warrant that kind of intrigue. But, like, you know, if you don't have a good protagonist, a good way to balance that is have a really good fucking villain, right? Titanfall 2's villains are all garbage, but Titanfall 2's protagonists are great. I would argue for Borderlands, the protagonists are kind of designed to be a little boring. You have great antagonists. You have handsome Jack. Super interesting. This game, none of that. Everyone is. Maybe it's because it's based in historical accuracy, working against.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah,
but then again, you have games in.
Why limit yourself?
But then again, you have games set in that era that are memorable.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for that era specifically, but medieval games and stuff. If you're going to do it based on something in real life, just don't let you fuck around with history is probably what I would say. Be as historically accurate as you want. Like Assassin's Creed, for all the grief I give it, is always an interesting concept. You go, oh, you're gonna go fuck with the Egyptians. Like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna go fuck with pirates. Oh, that's pretty cool. You're gonna go back to ancient Rome and fucking kill people. Yeah, that's super cool.
And that's the thing. Like the main, usually, like I can't remember in the later games, but I know in the earlier games, like the villains were actual, genuine people.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff to them.
And the places are real, and the people you talk to can be real as well. And
sound like we're opening for Judge Judy. The people are real. The places are real.
But like it's
the murders are final.
Yeah, it's like if there's like a live action kind of scene, it'll be like recreation of like all of the games, just as shittily doing it in low budget. But
absolutely.
Unfortunately, we don't have the budget to do that. But I would love to do it. But even if it was like. But like again, like if you're gonna do history, like just you can introduce people who actually existed and just fuck about with the way they handled it. Like again with was it Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and maybe 2, where like obviously you got Da Vinci, and then you've got is it the Borgias? Who you like fuck with in Brotherhood and stuff, and like they were genuine people in genuine locations. Obviously, you just fucked about how you killed them, kind of thing, and obviously you just manipulated it a little bit, but it was enough to still keep it relatively real and enough to keep you interested. Like, oh right, these guys actually did exist. So they probably could have introduced something like this to this game to make it somewhat interesting, and especially if you're trying to do it as historically accurate as possible. It'll be something to kind of introduce to kind of like entice people in kind of and keep people interested. Especially when you've not got that much of a main character who's that interesting. Obviously, like we're talking about Borderlands, make a villain who's interesting.
Give the player motivation if you can't give your characters motivation. Is I think a key thing to remember for writing, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
If the audience can be more invested than the character, that's usually a bad thing, but at least your audience are invested. Yeah. In this, I wasn't invested. It didn't seem like Henry gave a shit because I was controlling him to fucking run around a tree for 3 hours. It's a limiting thing that you need to take control of. But like I said, I really want to talk about the game's tutorials because they are fucking confusing and miserable.
See, like for me, tutorials are kind of a big thing, really, because they genuinely introduce the player to the entirety of the game.
Yeah, if I don't know how to play your game and I'm there wondering how to. I'm eventually going to go, this game's bullshit, and take it back.
Like how...
not play your fucking game.
How the beginning of a game pans out is usually the tutorial. And depending on how the tutorial sets and how it's all planned out and how you introduce the tutorial. And depending on how the tutorial is introduced and depending on how the tutorial goes for the player, that should set up the game for the entirety of it. Obviously, don't make rules then to break them later on. And this is the tutorial now, So the game later on is going to be this times like 5. Like, this is what I'm expecting for the entirety of the game. I know what I get myself in for. Like, this is it now. This is what I'm in for. Like Dark Souls tutorials. There's not much of it, but you expect that from the game because that is what the game is.
The game tutorializes itself through the gameplay. It's very easy to understand how everything works because there's not a whole lot to the interface and stuff. There's not a whole lot. Oh, that's my health. That's my stamina. It's very easy to pick up on visually. Whereas this game is a fucking assault to your senses with how much shit is going on at once. At the bottom of the screen is this fucking absolute mess of a health and stamina bar that I didn't figure out for a good 4 hours. At the beginning of the game, basically you're told how quests work, and if I can give this game one compliment, and I probably only can.
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself.
The map system, the fast traveling, and just the menus and stuff are fine. I had no problem with any of them. I liked them all. They worked very well. Coming fresh off stuff like I've been playing Oblivion a lot again recently, and I think that game has a very confusing menu system that doesn't really work the way it wants to, especially on console.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I found the menus to be like just straightforward. You've got one for you, you've got one for stuff, you've got one for your horse, you've got one for your quests, one for your map, stuff like that. It's very easy to just look at and gauge, which is so amazing when you're actually playing the game. It's just hard to fathom a lot of the time. The combat system is sort of the key thing that I want to talk about. It's very divisive in who likes it and who doesn't. Now, I'm going to use a word I hate throwing around with video games, with realism. Is apparently what they were going for with the sword combat and fist fighting. Now, I've been in a fist fight. I can tell you this. It's not a brag, but I can tell you fists don't quite work like wet noodles you slinging at. There's no feedback at all. You hit someone, you expect there to be like a good noise or a crunch, a good feeling, and that's not because in real life when you hit someone, it is just kind of a little, a tap, right? No matter how hard you hit someone, you're not hearing this bone-crunching, thunderous noise.
It's not a Mortal Kombat finisher.
Yeah, but you need that in a game to let you know how, like, that something's doing damage or that something is affecting something else. Tactile response. Right?
To let you know you did good.
Yeah, like, to let you know what you did happened. Whereas in this game, everything feels like you're trying to break a cinder block with a wet noodle. No matter what weapon you use, everything feels the same. And I picked long swords, as that's just kind of my general thing for games. Long swords, great swords. If it's two-hander, I'll take it. And they didn't feel different from the daggers I used. They didn't feel different from the axe I used. It didn't feel different from fucking using my fist.
Yep.
Now, the combat works in, basically, and I know that this is going to be difficult to sort of imagine, but if you look up gameplay, you get what I'm trying to get at, and I'm sorry for my poor explanation of it. But, the game did an even worse job of explaining it, because I understand how it works now. You have essentially 6 points, include the middle, left, up, left down, right up, right down, and then up. And that's how you hold your weapon. If you point the analog in that while locked on, you'll hold your weapon up for an upward slash or a stab or stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, I think I get you.
So, if an enemy's attacking you from the left, move your sword to the left and block, and you'll block.
Yeah, okay, right.
Right. And that sounds incredibly cool. And that was something that when I was told this was a feature of the game, I was getting quite excited.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a very interesting way, because I'm trying to quickly skim through games that I've probably done that before, and I can't actually think of any.
Apparently it's quite comparable to For Honor, but I'm pretty sure neither of us have played that.
I definitely haven't played it.
Apparently it's similar to that, only everyone says For Honor works better because it's multiplayer. The thing that cripples this system immediately is you have stamina and enemies seemingly don't.
Okay.
Well, you've got, obviously you know how a stamina system works. As soon as it drops to 0, you can't do anything, and enemies just pummel you. Whereas enemies can also, they basically have your movesets. You do an attack, they'll block it they can block every time if they want, if the RNG feels like. And that's absolutely agonizing to go through so many fights where enemies can just power you all they want, or you're just slashing from every direction. It doesn't seem to matter where their weapon is.
Right.
Whereas when they're attacking you, and it genuinely sounds like I'm bad at the game, but I played like 40 hours. I know how it works. I'm not terrible at it. I can, I won a whole bunch of fucking fights at this point because I learned a trick, and that's the whole point of this system. Is you can't just use one thing to win every time. You absolutely have to if you want to play this game. I mean, I'll get into that a bit more, but it doesn't teach you everything right off the bat. You have a very, very small section at the beginning of the game where the guy's like, okay, you want to learn sword fighting, come to me. And then he basically beats you up. Which, if the game was going for that kind of tone, fine, but it's clearly not. It's supposed to be like, okay, so you stab by pressing R1, you slash by pressing R2, you block with L1. Doesn't teach you fucking shit all about blocking at the right time. It doesn't teach you shit all about when to attack differently, like when to go low, when to go high. It doesn't tell you about enemy blocking. It doesn't tell you about riposting. And when enemies are doing that to you at the beginning of the game, that's a fucking problem. It doesn't tell you about clinches ever, and clinches are a huge part of combat when I was fucking playing it, which is when basically you lock swords and you have to mash a button to sort of win.
Right.
Like, how are you not going to tell people about basic things? I get that it can be a bit overwhelming, but maybe what you should do is reevaluate your combat.
Yeah.
Because it is complicated. You need to tell your players, look, it's a complicated system. You're not going to be good at it the first time you use it. And, you might lose your first couple of fights, but you'll get better at it. You need to brace for something like that. And this game doesn't do that at all. You don't fight, the giant demon at the beginning of fucking Dark Souls that kills you immediately because you're too big for your boots, right? The game doesn't set that kind of tone. It's all like, Henry. Did just look at my notes again to remember his name. You're not supposed to be a fighter, but you'll move on and you'll get it. And it's like, cool. Like I can't wait to get really good at this combat system. And you never do. I never felt like I was good at it, even when I learned a trick that will win every fight 100% of the time. Bow and arrows, when you finally get to use them. Now, I personally hate the bow and arrow system for a multitude of reasons. First of all, you have to wait until you're level 5 before the bow stops hurting your arms if you're not using van braces. Or, like every person ever who played this game, use van braces. Why would you not? It gives you armor. They don't, affect your stats badly or anything. And they stop bows from hurting you when you use them. What's the disadvantage? There's no reason not to. I can't fathom why this is a factor of the game. And if you say realism, sure, absolutely. But, I mean, your horses live infinitely, so how's that fucking realistic? I have so many just unfathomable...
It just sounds like a lot of...
get things at the bottom of your screen, right, next to your health and stamina, that... like little buffs and debuffs, and every time I see one, I'm like, I have no fucking clue what that. And you have to go and look it up, which would be fine. But if the first time you get this, why not just have a little prompt on screen that says, "You need feeding. You've not fed yourself in 6 hours. You dumb cunt." Why not give me one that says, you're poisoned, you're bleeding. Like, tell me what it is, because the little things you've got at the bottom of the screen are not as good indicators as you think they're. I can't tell a damaged limb from a bleeding one on the first time I'm playing through. I just see a limb with a little blood mark next to it. I'm like, okay, is that bleeding? Is that poison? It's not in colour, so what does that mean? Why is part of the little bubble it's in yellow and why is part of it blue? What means what? Fucking explain this shit to me. I have no fucking concept of a fucking idea as to what any of this means. I'm woefully unprepared because this game makes no effort to do it. It brings me to my next point of the game tries way too many things and doesn't do well at any of them.
Right, okay.
It tries to be, this big free open world with tons of stuff to explore. It tries to be this realistic combat simulator. It tries to be an epic story that falls fucking flat. It's got way too many fingers in way too many to, have a good feel of what's what. And in the end, all you've got is fucking disgusting fingers covered in pie. and I'm fucking playing a game with fingers covered in pie. Sorry, I'm quite hungry. I feel like I've lost this analogy.
Start again.
It,
Don't worry. Start again.
the game is just trying too much shit, and
Right.
I feel like if it was a lot more focused, it doesn't have to be linear. I'm not saying that, but if the game had a lot more focus and maybe spent a lot more time in the oven, to become what it needed to be, if it was tested a bit more, maybe it would have been something great and something special. And maybe I'd be on this Rantcast saying, okay, the problem is I love this game and it did one thing bad instead of it did everything.
Right.
But this is where we are, and I do feel that it did almost everything.
So it's just trying too much.
Yeah, and it doesn't really hit anything.
Got you.
It's spinning too many plates, and all of them fall in the end.
Ah, got you.
Now the dialogue options, I've like I said, I've touched on this. They're not the worst I've seen in a game, but there's no reason for it. Your speech system works with basically you have like an intimidation, a smooth talking thing, and then sort of like a readable option. And all of these are governed by different stats. They're not just all governed by speech. So if you get speech up, your smooth talking one will be better. You're more like burly and strong. Your intimidation will be a bit better and stuff like that. But it's like, so what's the point of speech if I can just, find a way to upgrade the other ones by playing the game?
Got you.
You've just made a whole stat fucking worthless by making it exist in the first place.
Yeah.
Especially when, the bribery option I find to just be the easiest because then I don't have to waste time and money is so easy to come by.
I was gonna say, if you got like this massive stash of money, then it's just like I'm trying to think of another game that kind of has like a bribery option. Did Skyrim have a bribe option?
You can occasionally bribe people on Skyrim, yeah.
And
never
money,
run out of money on that
exactly,
game.
and money's definitely not a problem. So anytime you can kind of bribe someone, it's just a case of, well, I fucking want that. Because it's just, if money, cause that's the thing really, it's like, especially with games like that, it's like, don't make gold or coins in general so easy to come by. Because if you're going to have an option
I get the vibe from Kingdom Come that it thinks its money is super difficult to come by.
Yeah.
And I was never, ever broke in that game. As soon as I figured out how combat works, like, I was fucking balling. I could walk into town fucking throwing money at whores, throwing money at cobblers, throwing money at children, throwing money at biscuit tins. I had so much fucking money, if I got mugged in the street, I'd be throwing it at them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't fucking matter.
Like another game is like just Assassin's Creed. Like money is so easy in Assassin's Creed as well. And you're not necessarily going to be using it all the time because as soon as you get your stuff, that's it pretty much. But it's like with Assassin's Creed, the gold is actually implemented in the game when obviously you can just throw money on the ground or attract a crowd of people, which will then distract guards. And that's never a problem. It's like, oh man, I either have to use this 10 gold to kind of like, obviously I use this 10 gold to save for a piece of equipment or a potion or like some sort of like poison or something like that. Or I throw this 10 gold to get a crowd of people to distract the guards. But it was never a problem. You just start throwing money anywhere and just get this entire city just in one location. Because you just have so much gold to just throw around. And it's just so easy to come by that it just made the game a lot easier than it should have been. Because of the gold just being implemented into the gameplay. And it just made it so easy to play. So that's a problem in general. As going back to the original point, was like, it's just, if you're going to have gold or money be able to be used in game other than just buying stuff, you need to make it pretty goddamn difficult because you're going to be picking everything up and just selling it and just getting tons of gold. So either like bring the cost of stuff down so you get like fuck all from it, or just don't find a lot of it. Like actually as you like kill people, obviously you can probably just take gold from them. So like just make it that you find like a copper piece or like 1 gold or like not even that.
So, moving relatively swiftly on, I have a section here marked, stealth is fucking awful.
Health?
Stealth.
Oh, stealth, okay.
So, first order of business. Pickpocketing, it sucks fucking dick. It doesn't fucking work, and it's just boring. The way that pickpocketing works is you have to hold whatever button it is on whatever fucking controller you have behind someone, and if they're moving, this is fucking irritating. you like you have to hold it behind someone until you get a certain amount of seconds, and then when you let go, you can pickpocket for that amount of seconds. So if I'm behind you for 12 seconds, holding this button and no one notices me, then I get 12 seconds to pickpocket, and you have to like move around a wheel and select what item you want in 12 seconds, and it's very fucking janky. It's so unresponsive. And I get that it's supposed to feel a bit unresponsive at first, but that's no fucking excuse for how, like, it just doesn't feel like it works half the time. Enemies can just turn around whenever they fucking feel like it. If someone spots you from, like, fucking 3 years away, then you done fucked up and then you get caught and the guards are after you. It's just, like, I don't like pickpocketing in any game. I don't think it's ever been done well. It's certainly not done well in, like, Fallout and Skyrim.
Yeah.
I don't know what made them think that this system was going to work, because this sounds like the kind of thing that you design like a thing for, you test it and you go, nah, this was a good idea on paper, but here it's just not working out. And it doesn't work. It doesn't fucking ever work. Even when you're doing pickpocketing, it just doesn't feel like it should. I kind of see what they were going for, but I genuinely think this is a thing they should have gone back to the drawing board. Which moves me on to lockpicking. Lockpicking, I think the de facto way to do lockpicking is kind of the Skyrim Fallout. Get a bobby pin, you turn the lock. It just seems to, I don't know, I like it. It works very well. And I know that comparing this game to Skyrim is kind of the go-to thing, but they have a lot of similarities in the design.
Yeah.
The lockpicking in this game, I will say, I can imagine works a hell of a lot better on PC. I can definitely see that, because you basically have to move your analog into like around a circle until you find the sweet spot,
Right.
and then you have to turn the lock while keeping your analog in that place. So you have to turn both analogs in the same way, and it's not as easy as it sounds. However, on console, it's clearly that it's just not programmed right. The dead zone just doesn't seem to work the way it should. And you can damage lockpicks just from moving the lock, even though you're in the right place. I just think it might need a patch or something. Easily the most unegregious thing I didn't like about stealth. I think on PC, I can see it probably works perfectly. And I wouldn't have to that. I will be as fair as humanly possible. Stealth kills. The shit. If you sneak up on a place and you strangle someone to like knock them out and then perform a kill on them, or they're asleep and you perform a kill on them, everyone else just wakes up. You can't stealth kill a base. You can stealth kill one person, then you have to. And it's fucking boring, man. I want to, sneak up. Like, you can get down into your undies, so you're making no noise whatsoever.
Jesus.
Everyone just seems to just know you're there. People's vision isn't very clear, and when you're ducked, you can't. You know in Skyrim how you got the eye that tells you when someone spotted you?
Yeah.
Unless there's something I've been missing, there is fuck all of that in Kingdom Come. People just suddenly, I thought I was in stealth. Someone was over to me and just swings a sword. Like, what the fuck's that about? You can never tell when people can spot you and when they can't. And that's a huge flaw. Especially when it's very difficult to tell enemies' range of vision. It's difficult to tell how far away they can hear from. It's not clearly telegraphed, and I think stealth just isn't a conceivable option, really.
Okay.
It just doesn't work. It just flat out.
Does
everything possible.
Does it feel like they tried to make stealth a big thing, or is it kind of like, well, I guess we should put stealth in just for the sake of adding a different type of way to play the game?
I feel like it was for the sake of players. Like, you know what I mean?
What was that again? You cut out.
I do apologise. It feels like they put it in because other games do it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It doesn't belong in any of the mechanics. It doesn't belong with the combat. It fucking certainly doesn't belong with the way other stealth things work.
Right.
Basically, you can go up behind and choke people out and then stab them, or you could just stab them if they're laying there. And it's not conducive to the rest of the way that the gameplay works.
Okay.
There's so many fucking... playing this game on a keyboard must be a nightmare, because there's a fucking million things mapped to every button on the fucking PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
And if you don't like how many buttons is the PlayStation? 14 or something. I'm sure that's fucking stupidly wrong. But
you got the 8 at the
four
front.
face buttons, fucking the other 4 D-pad.
Yep.
You got the touch screen, which is like 4 more places, so that's already 12. The analog sticks and the bumpers. You got like fucking 20 fucking buttons going on.
You got 4, 8, 12. Well, you got the 8 front-facing buttons, and then you got
Analog
the
sticks,
4
touchpad.
the 4 at the back and the analog stick. I don't really touch count the touchpad.
The point is, you have fucking so many buttons and you can't fit a controller. Chill the fuck out with your fucking interface. Calm down. Cut down what doesn't need to be used.
Zach, we're gonna also implement the R3 as the crouch button and the throw Molotov button, the nuke button.
Right, fucking calm down. No game needs to use every single fucking button on the controller.
When you move forward with the analog stick, you also shout.
Basically, it'd be fucking more useful. At least then I'd can see me. Which brings me to my next point of the bow and arrow. I've already said, until you're level 5, it cuts into you if you're not wearing wrist armor.
See, that just sounds weird to me.
The idea is you're learning to.
Oh, okay.
That's the concept. You've never used a bow. You're supposed to be a blacksmith's son, so you've never done combat, and you're learning all this stuff.
Okay,
but what it comes off more of is no one feels the need to teach you, and your self-taught ways is how no one in the world has used a bow before.
Do you fire it with your feet or something?
Fucking more accurate. There's no way of telling where your arrow is.
Oh,
no,
right.
I refuse to believe that at any point anyone has ever made an arrow, like a shot in this game, where they didn't think, well, that's... Because every time... there's this video on my Twitter of me trying to hit this fucking rabbit for about fucking 3 minutes, and I'm just firing. I'm stood in the same position trying to fire, and it's just sailing past it in every fucking direction. And then when I finally hit it, it's like I did nothing different. This game is literally Einstein's definition of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah.
This game is literally insane in its fucking design. But as well as that, it doesn't seem to do as much damage. As soon as you hit an enemy with it, you got to reload and fire another.
Oh god.
It's not conceivable fucking combat.
Right.
And the different arrow types, I find that just stopped getting certain arrow types that were weak and eventually just kept getting strong ones.
Okay.
So it was like, what was the point if you're just going to give me this quickly?
Yeah.
Like I said, I played for 40 hours and I barely made any progress on the main story because I didn't give a shit. You play The Witcher, you do all the side quests, right? No one fucking gives a shit about the story until the end game.
Yeah, when you've got all the best shit.
The bow and arrows, it was never fun. I never felt like I was getting better at it. I felt like it was actively working against me. And then when when it's pushing against you, that's when a player pushes back and you start either not using it or finding exploits.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel the need to find exploits. I was just, I was done with that as a system.
Well, it doesn't work now, so go fuck itself.
Now, I've touched on the combat.
Yep.
I would like to go a bit more into detail now. So the lock-on that I've told you about, where you can aim in different directions, you'd be lucky if that fucking works. Okay. Because from my experience, sometimes I'll lock onto an enemy, and if I want to, if I've not worded my prayers to the kingdom come gods in the exact fucking way they want, that lock-on is sticking to that motherfucker like glue, or it is never locking onto him ever.
Right.
It is the most erratic fucking thing. It's like working with someone who's bipolar and just manic depressive, and at any point will decide to fucking throw all the toys out the pram and fucking leave. Tell you what, in the YouTube description, we're gonna put a link to a video of me playing the game. It's just some gameplay. You don't have to listen to my horrible voiceover, but you can see just how this combat system is just so not fluid. Every point in that where I'm swinging wildly, I'm trying to lock on and it's not working. Right. It's just a perfect thing. If anyone's played the game and they see that, they will immediately get it. But as well as that, the defense doesn't seem to work some of the time, where the enemy is moving left to right, and you're supposed to do that with the analog stick. If you just keep tapping the button, you'll block every time. As long as you've got the stamina for it, you're fucking basically indestructible. Just keep tapping that fucking button. The riposting, you're supposed to riposte right at the beginning of an enemy's attack, but you don't do damage to them. You just like push them away. So what's the point? You've just made me do a longer block. It's boring. Sure, I don't lose any stamina from it, but it doesn't really make a fucking whole lot of difference. The way to win. Now, anyone's been having trouble with this game, let Papa Corey tell you, alright, this is how you win. Learn one of the combos of the game. There's a little combo list. The one that I went with was, I think, downward slash to the left and then stab. Get the timing down for that. Use that 3-hit combo forever. Now you might be thinking, Corey, are there ones longer than 3 hits? Not if you want to win. Because the enemy will just block them at the 3rd hit every fucking time. I've never landed one. And fucking Jesus Christ have I tried. Good fucking Lord have I tried. But it just doesn't work. Do a 3-hit combo, just rinse, repeat every time, and keep walking backwards so that you can keep getting your stamina back. You'll win every fight. You have 60 people on you, right? You're getting attacked by a fucking army. Doesn't matter. Single one enemy about, kite them away, and repeat that combo constantly until you've won. It will win every time, I guarantee you.
That is the one combo you only ever need.
Like, right? You literally, that's the one that worked for me. You might find another 3-hit combo for another weapon you quite like. But just keep it to 3 hits, you'll win every fight. You'll win absolutely every fight. As soon as you learn the timing, which is not very difficult because the one thing the game actually does signal you to do is when you hit where the next combo is to hit, you'll win. It's easy as. Every combat encounter in the game now becomes a fucking absolute joke as long as you don't have to wrestle with the lock-on.
Right.
So if the game's feeling polite and like you've won forever.
If the game allows you to.
Now, on to the horses in this game.
Oh, okay.
If I were to give any advice to anyone playing this, it's that get a fucking horse. They are the absolute key to victory. You want to make shit tons of money, have a horse. You can't lose. They're immortal. Oh. If a horse dies, just whistle it in a different city and it will come to you.
That's always nice.
Nah, in a game set to be so realistic, I'm really glad they realised that all horses were immortal.
I mean, that's
true fact
right?
For you there. I can confirm, as a man who has horses, I can confirm. Horses are immortal. I've tried killing them. Doesn't work. Just give it 3 days and like Jesus, they're basically super beings that can carry everything.
Lovely.
So
that's what we need.
A big thing of my first few hours of this was going to enemy camp to enemy camp, killing them, taking stuff until I was over encumbered, slowly walking back. I did this for about 20 hours.
Oh god.
Of being over encumbered and slowly trudging with equipment until I made enough to buy the horse I wanted. Because like a clever boy, when I realised how shit this game was, and doing the research, it did indeed come to light that horses, no matter how over encumbered you are, will carry you, and you can give them equipment to carry themselves. So have fun now going from base to base using your 3 hits, killing absolutely everything, taking its equipment, selling it back at town, and being a fucking...
Nice. That's it.
It is. It's... Like, as soon as you figure that out, the game is fucking boringly easy. I mean, it was already boring, but now you're God in this world. Right, you just get a horse and do that, and there you go. That's a good few of my complaints. We've got a lot to go. Now, my main complaint with this game. This is, in my opinion, the absolute fucking straw that fucked the camel's ass. Just unegregiously pisses me off endlessly is the save system.
Again?
You need an item to save, which, you know, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil. I remember the typewriter ribbon. I'm fucking, I'm not some dirty heathen. I've played Resident Evil 7. I remember that shit.
So I don't give a fuck.
Like, I can deal with having an item, but in a free roam game, in which you're going for realism, which your game is buggy as shit. There's something I'll touch on. In which your combat is very difficult to learn until you find out how to exploit it. Why the fuck do you make saving difficult? The reason that I quit playing this game, the reason that I absolutely shoved it off and I was like, episode on this, and why I hit you up with the idea. I played for about 20 hours. This is the reason I've said it's 40 hours. It's probably closer to about 8.
Right.
In all honesty, my gameplay says 40 hours. I played pretty much for about 20 hours. I literally kept the game on while I went to work.
Oh god.
Because I didn't have anything to save with. Use my on. And a bug just made the game so I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything, and my last save was 3 hours ago.
Oh god.
So yeah, no, fuck you. I couldn't save where I was because it was corrupted. Literally, I know the last thing was about corrupted, but the game itself fucked me out of it by making it so that a bug had made it so I couldn't continue. No matter.
Oh, bro.
When the game auto saves is fucking bizarre. Is fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fucking out of the fucking wall. Michael Jackson in your living room. Fucking bizarre. I have no idea how this game's auto system. Sometimes it'd auto save after my character slept. Sometimes it would do it mid-mission. Sometimes it'd do it at the end of the missions. Sometimes it wouldn't do it no matter what the fuck I did. I did 6 missions in a row and it didn't feel the need to auto save. Then I went to bed once and it auto saved. Once I was just walking in the wilderness and it felt the need to auto.
So, alright, man, this walking malark is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what the fuck is going on? Like, I have no clue what this autosave system... I don't get how to trigger it. I don't get how it works. It just seems to do it whenever it fucking feels like. The game's like, oh yeah, I'll autosave. Didn't autosave for 20 hours when I was doing fucking quests, you cunt. Fuck this game. Now, onto the bugs. There's a lot of them. First of all, right, if it's a PS4 game.
Yeah.
I'm not settling for clipping in cutscenes. No matter what my character's wearing, it shouldn't be clipping through my character.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this shit. It's the current year. You know what I mean? We're over that. It was acceptable in the 360. After Metal Gear Solid 4, you know what I mean, which let you zoom in on cutscenes just to dare you to see if something was wrong.
I was going to say it was a challenge.
Yeah. Like, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable by any means. I don't care how small your team is, how big your game is. I hate that shit. It immediately takes me out of it. I had a bug early on in the game where basically half the map just fucking wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trudging along something and... Because,
happens.
everyone loves reloading a save.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit, which is a bit weird.
I get that it's a free roam game, and I get that they are hard, and I get you will have bugs. I'm not an idiot. But ones of this magnitude that delete progress, that fucking just stop you playing, that just utterly hinder the everything, combined with your shitty save system. It's not acceptable. That save system should be optional. It should be, do you want to play Save Your Schnaps Wanker mode, or do you want to actually have a chance of fun at this?
Take your pick.
Yeah, right? Like, let me... It's like if hardcore mode for every game was Iron Man. You die, you go fuck yourself. That's how this game feels. It feels like it hates the player so much. Which is, okay, I suppose, because you return that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you turn that hate into what is called a rant cast.
So, the game's ugly.
Okay.
The Witcher 3, it is not. People's faces just look fucking odd. People's eyes just freak me out. And the longer you spend looking at walls, the more you realise, fucking hell, what was this made original one? It's just not... I played The Witcher 3. That's a gorgeous game. I played Uncharted. That's a gorgeous game. You know what I mean? I've played relatively big budget, fun games. This one's just fucking up. It looks worse than a blip. I'm gonna say it. I hate it. I fucking hate the way it looks. The voice acting for some characters is good, and then others is absolutely miserable. I think Bethesda are a big proponent of this kind of voice acting, of people sounding like they're trying really hard not to wake them. It's just bad. It's bad quite a lot of the time. The main character, he's great. I really like his voice actor. I'm pretty sure he's also the same guy who did motion capture, Tom McKay. Just had to look at my notes.
Right.
Hope he gets a lot more work. Hope he does well, because he did his absolute best. But among the fact that the dialogue is flaccid, so's the voice acting.
Oh god, not voice acting.
It's just, it's fucking boring. It's just bad. Everyone sounds like they're trying not to wake them. It's just fucking garbage. I did get to the scene of the game. Really happy with that. Really happy that we got David caged in the. That's another complaint I have. Don't fucking have sex scenes in your game. The Witcher didn't do it well. You're not going to do much fucking better, are you? Just, it's not adult, and it's not cool or fun or interesting. It's just cringy and awkward.
Yeah, I guess it's just more awkward, if anything.
I feel like sex scenes in games were original, so that when parents came in, they'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing on this game? What the fuck are you playing?"
Yeah, it's like relatively normal frat, but then as soon as it happens, your parents just walk in. It's like, out of all the damn time.
Me and my girlfriend Laura, she was there when the sex scene happened, and it was so badly modelled. Like, it looks like he's fucking a belly button. It's so weird. And Laura was like in stitches. Like, I'm sorry to reminisce in the Rant cast, but it was just so fucking goofy and just dumb.
Jeez.
That was the closest to fun I had, really. Was laughing at that with Laura.
Wow.
And then it ends and you have to play the game again and you're like, great, well.
It's like, in a way, could you just carry on? I don't want you to carry on, but can you carry on so I don't have to play it again?
Do you know what? There was a really early warning that this game was going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah?
A 24 gig fucking day one patch.
Oh, no.
I'd like to remind you that the game is like 27.
Oh, no.
24 gig update.
That's just... No, you just don't want it. You don't want it, and you don't need it, and it's unnecessary.
And the game still runs like shit. The game's still buggy as fuck. Like, what the fuck was it like with the patch? I dread to think. Oh, it's... Oh my god. What's next on my list? Hunting. Now, this was something I thought would be fun. I've already explained how playing with the bow is boring and fucking doesn't work properly.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I'll go into the woods and kill some things. Now, in an interesting twist, when you go hunting, everything's like a wildlife reserve. It's like under like the rule of the king, so anything you kill counts as stealing when you take it, right? Which sounds like a cool idea until you basically it just discourages hunting.
Oh.
You can't sell stuff to normal people. You have to go to specific places. And it's like, oh, cool. Well, I was going to have fun with this, but now seeing as that I can't carry meat back and sell it to who I want to...
Because it's technically stolen.
Yeah, and people will be like, I'm not fucking this stolen. You can fuck right off. And it's like, cool. I'll have to go back to a specific mill and hope he's got money. It's fucking really annoying. I just don't get why... Like, you should just let me kill and sell meat to who the... Like, you don't give me problems for the one thing I thought eventually I'd have fun with.
Yeah.
It's also... The one thing that I think I can... is... It's shirt tugging, wah, feed me, I'm tired mechanic.
Alright.
I'm not happy with in any game. If your character gets hungry and gets tired a lot.
Oh.
This is something I hate usually in games, but this one, they balanced it quite well. Never really had being too hungry or being too tired a lot of the time. But, like, it's the same as durability system in the game, right? They're not fun. They've never been fun.
No.
I don't know about, like, I'm sure they're for some people, but have it as an option. Don't have it as a necessity, because I don't think stopping what I want to do to go and fucking feed my character is fun.
Not really. It just stops. Any progress you're making, it just stops, and then you just have to like focus on something else, and then just distract you.
It just ruins the pace, and it stops you from doing what you want to do. It's just a way of padding out you. And when you spend 80 hours on something, however much time I spent a lot of fucking time, it's not worth it. And at no point is this necessary in the game. The one thing to compliment of how it's balanced is immediately ruined by it's not needed.
Yeah. It could have easily been taken out of the game at any time.
Yeah. The equipment system, I know I've complimented the UI and said the interfaces are great, but the equipment system I don't see a lot of the need for. Right. The lowest ranked armor seemed I'd be taking the same damage in the best armor I had. I wasn't noticing an immediate change, and I ran rigorous tests and it didn't seem to do anything.
Right.
It's just to sort of make yourself look better, and that's hard when all your clothes clip through each other because they didn't fucking make this game with any form of fucking foresight.
It's fashion Deliverance.
I would rather it have been because at least if I could have fabulous, then I would have had a nice thing to say about the game. But instead, I'm wearing a fucking helmet that obscures my vision. This is the thing, right? I don't know who the fuck thought this was a good idea. So if you put on certain helmets, your vision is obscured.
Right.
So, you put on like a knight's helmet, and then all of a sudden you've only got like a slit vision. Like, yeah, cool. I really want to wear this fucking piece of armor now that I can't see fuck of all.
That's like, is it what PlayStation game is it? Was it Alone in the Dark? We have to blink.
Where you have to blink, right? Yeah.
It's like that.
Exactly how it fucking
sounds like that. Like
it's how it feels. It's like, why have you added this? All you have done is make this annoying.
It's like, I understand the fact that obviously with different helmets, but it's like, I understand you want to go for the realism, but you've already failed in realism in these certain aspects. Why carry on and implement in this, which is a visual, and funnily enough, I need visuals to see what the fuck I'm doing.
I can't fathom who thought it was a good idea and who else agreed with them and put it in the... It's so fucking annoying. It's like, oh yeah, do you want this really cool helmet with really cool stats? Do you want to be fucking virtually blind?
I was gonna say, do you want to have to feel and hear your way around everything?
Like, do they know that helmets were made with the idea that people could see back? They weren't blindfolds.
Oh no, they were. They're historically accurate.
It's so fucking... I hate that. Everyone who says it's realistic is historic. Well, history was fucking shit. I don't want to play a game with it.
You say that?
I've just wrote here again, there are so many goddamn books. So I've already touched on that. I was clearly annoyed about this.
I say, so if you've gone back to that point, how many points do you have left? How far down this list?
Please don't be halfway through. Oh no, we're near the end.
Like I say, because we're on 58 minutes.
So the upgrade.
We'll just carry on. We'll just carry on, and you just go through all the points that
we'll have an extra long episode for being away for so long.
I guess, yeah.
So the upgrade tree, you basically, the way leveling works is sort of similar as in Skyrim. The more you use a certain thing, the more it'll level up.
Right.
Which, that's fine. Don't really have a problem with that.
Makes sense.
It's not exactly fun to go by bashing things to get strength up fucking 76 hours so you can hold more equipment, but hey ho, it's not the worst system in the world.
No, but it makes sense if you want to upgrade a certain aspect, you have to use that aspect.
I'm relatively okay.
That bit of a system does make sense. You're not gonna start bashing stuff just to level up your bow and arrow. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you want to get better at the bow and arrow, use it. You're gonna go through the shit patch to get good.
This is in my negatives.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for the
butt. The butt comes in your skill trees. It's not the same. Like, you basically get a selection of perks,
right?
And you get to pick from them. And you think, cool, right? Or maybe this one will mean I can carry more stuff. But most of the time, these perks will be like, oh, you can sprint for longer, but you won't be as fast. It's like, cool. What I really wanted was for 90% of the perks to have a negative to them. Oh. I'm really glad I leveled up for this.
I thought the whole point of perks is to give you a boost.
You see,
it's to give you something different.
Throw grenades further, take longer to prime them or something like that. most of these perks, like there's one that's like, oh, you gain more benefits from food, but food like that's put like growing old or whatever will hurt you double or something like that. There's another one that's like you can eat what you want, but you won't get the good benefits of food. It's like, why? Just have one. You get better benefits of food because I've upgraded this tree to fucking get here.
It's like I've put time and effort into this.
Playing your game.
That's what it essentially is, really. I guess it is like more of you're going to get punished for playing it.
Like, but you don't get points for having a cool idea that you didn't use properly. And that's this system was sort of built around you've got to be weak in certain things and strong in certain.
Yeah.
But that's not how the leveling works.
But like
you don't have your strength and then your bow gets weaker because you're not using it. You level everything at the same time.
Like I'd expect that on like a hardcore type of game. Like if you're playing a game on like a Fallout game, you know, you could play it with like the hardcore settings.
Yeah.
We have to be drinking water. You have to be looking after yourself. You have to be eating. You have to be drinking and all this type of stuff. Like I would expect that on like a hardcore version of the mode when you've like on New Game Plus, because like by the time you hit New Game Plus, you've probably unlocked everything anyway, and then you could probably put points into stuff again, but you unlock like the hardcore version of it, kind of thing, or have it where just like you, if you go into New Game Plus, that's when you automatically hit that bit, or the upgrades that you've put into your character so far then have negatives to it. So if you've put upgrades and stuff into different things, then now it implements it in a New Game Plus when you've already beaten it, you've got all your best shit. Now it's going to hinder you to make the game at least somewhat more challenging now, obviously now that you've got better equipment. You still keep your perks, but now the perks have a bit of a negative on them. But again, like I wouldn't expect that as like your first fucking playthrough. I'd expect that when you've already completed the game once. It just doesn't sound. I mean, it just sounds shit.
That leads into my next point. If you were to play this game, good fucking lord, right? Not only are there not enough dialogue options or anything like that to think, oh yeah, this game warrants a second playthrough. I'll play Evil this time or something. The intro is so long-winded and fucking boring. Now, I got through it in about 4 hours. A good friend of mine got through it in 6. It's... You know when you go back to replay Skyrim and you think, oh, fucking hell, I have to play through this long fucking horse and carriage bit. You know what, fuck it, I don't want to play this anymore. Imagine that for 6 hours. It's not even that it's a 6 hour long cutscene. I would have preferred that, because at least then I could go to work, do a shift, come back and play the game.
Yeah.
You have to fucking sit through, and I tried to blaze my way through it. And I got bored. I couldn't do it for a second time. I couldn't play the intro again. I was so bored. It goes on for so long. You have to do so many things before you can have rewrite. I almost said before you can have fun, but that moment is
like I like that intro bit in Skyrim genuinely does put me off playing it again.
Yeah, that's why the mod for Skyrim that's like, it's like another life mod where you can basically just pick what you want to start as.
Yeah,
it's so popular because you just skip the boring beginning that you don't want to deal with.
It's called Another Life, and you spawn in a random area on the map, somewhere around that beginning village that gets burnt to the ground, and I'm pretty sure it's like, oh, you're a farmer's boy, or like you're doing this, or you're a lumberjack or something, but you're near the village. You've just heard a dragon. Go and investigate the area, and then from then, that's where it kind of goes off. It's like, right, there's a dragon that's just arrived. Now you choose to go with this person, or you go to this person that is outside the city, who are like having like a... There's like no dialogue options for it, but there's like there's like just text where they're having an argument. And he's like, right, well, you come with us or come with us. It's like, oh, okay, so now this is where I start. I'm going to go and complete the entire game, and then I'll come back for this dragon problem.
Just this fucking... The intro to this game makes Skyrims look like fucking Dooms. And it's miserable. Like, Dooms you can do in less than a fucking, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Dooms you can do in, fucking 12 seconds. You just go, press a button, you're fucking done.
What, the newest Doom? The newest Doom?
Yeah, the Doom 2016.
Isn't that the one where you just, start off on a bed, you just automatically just kill someone, just one of the creatures?
Yeah, as soon as you step out that, you're there killing things and... And in this, it's like so like I'm not saying get to the violence, but get to something fucking fun. It's absolutely miserable. Do you know what this game? I'm right at the right two more things. So this game reminds me of a game that's very close. A game that is also absolute hot garbage, but I find to be really fun. I feel like you might know what's coming.
Kinda.
But it reminds me of RuneScape.
Yeah.
You put in a lot of time and a lot of effort doing really boring things to then spend your time doing more boring things.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is RuneScape has infinite charm. It survives on charm. It is not a fun game. And if you think it's fun, you're lying. You're lying to yourself, and you need to stop. It's okay to like RuneScape, but you need to seek help for thinking it's fun. This game has no charm. It clearly has a lot of drive by the developers behind it. Clearly thought it was a good idea. They were wrong. They were absolutely fucking spot on wrong. And I could not recommend this game to anyone, no matter who I thought would actually like something like this. Its flaws are just fucking everywhere. It's just not fun, and that's the biggest problem. Is at no point did I think, oh, you know what, it's actually turning around and I'm having a good time. And I gave it one hell of a chance. I gave this game more of a chance than I've given a lot of games. And when you consider the catalogue of stuff I've played, like Dark and Vampire Rain, and just looking absolute hot garbage.
Yes, Vampire Rain.
Fucking Vampire Rain. That'll be on this show one day.
One day that'll be a game discussion that we have to kind of rip apart.
I'll have to play it again.
Yeah.
I'd rather die.
To remind yourself of how terrible it is.
But it's up there with them. It's bad, and it's all of its defenders who go, oh, it's just realistic, you're just bad at it and stuff like that. No, I get the game. Like, it just doesn't fucking work. It's just not fun. And it's just balls, man. Like, play something better. Spend your money on something better. If you take anything away from this, if you've laughed and you've been sat here stony-faced going, oh man, Corey's fucking wrong as shit, this game's great, right? You're a cunt for one. You're wrong for two. And just you know...
3 strikes. 3 strikes. And you're out.
Just give yourself a... like, play it... Because I had no expectations. I bought it on a whim. Because I was like, oh, this game's front cover looks okay. Swords on the front. I'll play this. It seems quite interesting. I like medieval stuff. And, you know, I gave it my heart, and it replaced it with styrofoam. But yeah, that's a side note. Something I want to actually compliment them for is I see a lot of comments about this game saying the frame rate is terrible. It never was bad for me at any time. Some people say the weather effects are bad. Yep, they are, but you know, game's fucking ugly anyway.
Can confirm.
Over that. I'm just thinking, is there anything I've missed? But I'm pretty sure I've covered just about everything of how much I hated this game. The music is fucking absolutely forgettable. I'm sure if someone brought it to your friend's D&D, no one's going to be saying, oh, where's that song from? I don't know about you. I like to play. Me and Laura, we like to play. She'll play a soundtrack. I have to guess what it's from.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of fun if you try it at home with your friend. You can. It can be really funny. If she ever played me a song from this game, I'd be fucking clue, dude. Like, this game is going to be my default answer because I know I'd never think of it. Yeah, don't buy it. It was kickstarted. There's a little thing for you about it. Sorry, Kickstarter backers who played it.
It's like, sorry, we apologise for your loss
of
money.
It doesn't deserve a second chance. Fuck this game. I hate it, and that's my cast of it. I don't really know how to end.
So that is everything top to bottom of your list.
Yeah, that's all of my negative, really. It's just a boring piece of shit game. the historical accuracy don't mean shit to me. I don't care about it. That's not for me. But if you like it, you know, life. The world building, it's there. It's not great. Who gives a shit? These are my positives, by the way.
What? Really?
Yeah, my positives say historical and time period is interesting. World building is okay, I guess. Fast travel is done well. Maps and interface are fine. Henry's voice actor is okay. Shame everything sucks and he's bland as a rock. Swords and no sorcery is interesting. Too bad the game sucks. That's my list of positives read verbatim from my books.
Alrighty then.
So, thank you very much for tuning into this episode of the Rantcast. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm sure it was not fun at all listening to me for over an hour.
I was gonna say it's an hour and 10, or we're going on to
Hour and 10.
We're going to go on for an hour and 11 minutes in a minute, in like a couple of seconds.
Thank you very much for sticking it out this long. Brave soul and I just if you hated this episode, right? This is 10 minutes of Kingdom Come.
If you hated this episode, it's because of Kingdom Come Deliverance, and we weren't actually able to say enough positive things about it like we normally try to do a positive and negatives of a game. This episode pretty much was just, we need to pick a game and we just need to just talk about it. And by talk about it, Corey had about a list of 37 things he just wants to destroy it over. So I said, well, we'll just pick a time, we'll pick a Rantcast, we'll pick a day, pick a time, and I'll just let you go. I will unleash the beast, and I'll just let you just run free with this one, and you can just talk about it how you will. So, the reason why, if you've hated this episode, is generally because there's nothing really positive to say about it. And I had no reason, or I had no experience of this game whatsoever, so I've let Corey run free. So, thank you very much for listening. Fuck knows when we're going to get round to recording the next one.
Yeah, we're very unreliable. It'll be sooner than the...
Hopefully, yeah, like I say, hopefully it's not going to be another 6 months break. However, it's pretty much just when the both of us are free. We just try to record these. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. We'll probably get back to the usual, what we normally do. Pick 2 topics, pick a game, pick a character. The next episode, you never know. Or we might just say, fuck it, let's just rant about another game and just rip it to pieces. And we'll see if we could pick one that we've both kind of played, so we both can give some positive and negatives.
A bit more of a back and forth.
Yeah, so we can both kind of discuss it properly instead of just letting Corey just go mental on it. So hopefully we'll do something along them lines next episode, and hopefully you won't be waiting for another 6 months to hear about it. So I'm hoping, well, what day is it today? We're recording, I'm going to date the episode now. Recording this on the Friday the 9th of March when we're recording this. So I'm hoping to record it, or I'm hoping to upload it in the next week. I might even upload it tomorrow, to be fair. To say, fuck it, why not? It's not like we've got a schedule since we took a 6 months break. So I'll probably upload it tomorrow, and yeah, see what then we can get round to recording another one when we're both free. So again, thank you very much for listening, and we will hope to see you a lot sooner than 6 months. So, thank you all very much.
Kingdom come in my ass, right?
Fuck's sake, I'm going to end it there, fuck it.